Welcome to Cooking on the Farm. I'm Rachel, and today I'm going to show you my sourdough bread recipe, but I'm making dinner rolls for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is in 3 days. So I'm going to make them tonight, and then I'm going to bake them and freeze them, and then pull them out first thing in the morning, and they're going to be perfect. All right, guys, come on in. Let's show you our ingredients. You're going to need 1 cup of sourdough starter, bubbly, 3/4 cup of warm water, a tablespoon of honey. Today I'm substituting sugar for honey because I'm out of my honey. Tablespoon of molasses, 3 cups flour, and a teaspoon of salt. This is super fast. I'm gonna let my machine do it all. I'm using my Bosch. I normally would use my KitchenAid, but I don't know what happened. It must have got gunk in it. It won't spin anymore. So I have this, so why not use it? All right, so my sourdough is super bubbly. You can tell she has gone way over and beyond on this. She's super sour. I love it, I love it, I love it. So I have my 1 cup measuring cup. This is not a weighted one at all. This is like you fill it up to a cup. If it's a little over, perfect, that's fine. I shake it out, and there's still a little bit in there, not much, no big deal. I'm gonna see if I can I'm gonna do a triple batch. And I've quadrupled this recipe. It's the same thing. It does not matter how many times you double. Anyway, as long as you have a 1/4 cup left in here, you're still good to go. I'm just gonna scrape this out. So I'm not gonna use this to scrape her down. I'm gonna use something else because this could be contaminated. I just don't like to go from out here to in there. I wanna get a clean one for that. Because I made a triple batch, I need to get extra water. It would be if you just did the measurements. I like to add my sugar or honey. I'm out of my honey, it makes me sad. So again, tablespoon per recipe. Because I'm tripling, obviously 3 tablespoons. I do not measure my molasses at all. And that actually might be all that I have in here. I should have thought about that one and added one of those warm waters. So those are my liquid ingredients. I'm gonna grab my lid and I'm just gonna let it zhuzh real quick. I just want to get that molasses mixed around. And if you're using honey, it kind of can cake a little bit, so I like to loosen it up. The other thing is, if you're questioning if your sourdough's alive, it's like, so I left it out overnight. What if it had gone down a little bit? And you're like, it's not as bubbly as it should be. What you can do is let it set here for a few minutes, and it's already starting to happen. You'll see little white things pop up. Like you'll have your regular bubbles, but I'll have little white things pop up. That's your live sourdough, kind of like, hello, I'm still alive. I'm eating all this sugar that you just fed me. And that's a live, happy sourdough. Okay, so now flour. So I do not weigh. I just literally go off. Need to count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So I kind of, as I did it, spread the flour all over the top because you don't want to put your salt directly in on your sourdough. So now I sprinkle my salt on top. And it looks like a lot of salt, y'all. It's not. It's not at all. And don't skimp on the salt. Sourdough really needs salt. And I'm just using real salt. Make sure you put a lid on if you're using a Bosch. If you're using a KitchenAid, generally doesn't poof that much. So I'm gonna kind of give it a couple little zunk, zunk to get it going. Once it's going, I'm gonna leave it on for 10 minutes and let it do the kneading. I'm not gonna do a lot of hand kneading, just a minute, that's it. So that kind of mixed all the salt in. And you can hear the machine changing. So what I'm watching for is, this is still really wet. You can see dry, 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 and then really wet down there. I'm making sure that it doesn't, especially in a Bosch, the sourdough doesn't creep up in here. So I'm gonna turn it on and let it go and watch it and set my timer. So notice how this is clumping up right here. There's a lot of sticky right here. I'm going to grab that spatula that I had for my molasses and push it down because it's super sticky. If it gets up in your engine, it's not happy. So that's what I'm watching for. It's kneading, and I'm also making sure it doesn't creep up in there. If it starts to get really bad, what I can do is add just a sprinkle it, shove it down, add a sprinkling of flour in that area. So this has been running 10 minutes. I am going to clear this, get my cutting board out, or my kneading board, and move all this out and get ready to start weighing it. So this is a huge ball of dough to knead, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break it down. So if you were making this into bread, this is where you would knead it into a loaf shape, okay? I am not making bread, I'm making rolls. So I am just going to knead, everyone kneads differently. So what I do is I keep my hands like this, and I push with the heels of my hands right here, push away and fold over and roll. So I fold it over and then I twist. But I do it really fast. So you want to knead this hand-wise about a minute. And what you're looking for is this to spring back. So when I touch this guy, how it dimples back pretty quickly, this guy is still there. So what you're doing is you're just, because I did such a big batch in my machine, you just want to give it a little extra something, something, okay? So what I'm going to do, and I'm in my brain right now trying to do the math on how big I want these dinner rolls. So for Thanksgiving dinner, I want them kind of small. I have tried to freeze, like weigh them out and then freeze them in raw dough form, kind of like the bag that you can get at the grocery store. It didn't turn out very well. They never fully rose. I left them out for like 12 hours and they never rose. All right, so this guy, ready to go. So he is just gonna get plopped right there. And you can start to feel the difference. Like it starts to feel smooth. Like right now it's kind of like dry Play-Doh in my hand. And as you work it, it slowly starts to feel really smooth. Now you could leave this in your machine a little bit longer. I wouldn't go more than 10 minutes because it could get tough. I'm gonna do my ball, my rising in 2 separate pans. So I am a fan of my dinner rolls having kind of crispy top and like soft sides. But some of the other members of my family like a full crispy dough, except for the bottom. So what we're gonna do is do it 2 different ways. I'm gonna do it one batch in a 9x13 and then one on a cookie sheet so that we get best of both worlds. So this is a 3-ounce ball, and so you can do it 1 of 2 ways. You can do it like this, where you roll it on your board and shape it that way, or you can just tuck it. I'm a tucker. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some that are 3 ounce, and then I will shape them afterwards. That's the cool thing about sourdough, especially working with kids, is you can go like, okay, I'm gonna make the balls, like weigh them out. Or honestly, if you're teaching a kid ounces, you can say, okay, you weigh it out and I'll do the rest. I'm gonna take some melted butter and just blop on all around these. My farm boys came in and they helped me get all these shaped the way they need to be, or close to the way they need to be shaped. This is all I'm doing. I'm gonna let these set until they have doubled in size. These went into a 400-degree oven and they baked for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So it's actually the next day. Last night I ended up being out way late because I had baseball, eye doctor appointment, things like that. So my mom graciously put these in the oven for me. So I have a sample of each one of them. This is the harder one that I wanted to be kind of crispy. So it's crispy. When you tear open, it's more of like a chewy bun. It's still like super soft inside, but it's like chewier. And then this one is the one that we put in the 9x13, and it's way soft and gooey, and it's not very crispy. So anyways, there you go. From my kitchen dears, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. God bless. Okay guys, so this is, oh, mute, hello, oh there we go.
Oh,
I must have
get the ingredients.
I gotta dry my hand actually. Who started I started the dishwasher. Kind of, especially because I said, bleh. Oh my gosh. Some that are 3 inch.
3 ounce.
Or sorry,